Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today's show is 5G Crystal Energy Protection with Peter Webb. Peter Webb is an expert in all things nature and has a true connection to frequencies. He is here to tell us about frequencies and how they can protect us from harmful 5G technology and other EMF frequencies that we don't even know that exist, because guess what? The invisible creates the physical. Whether that is a positive or a negative, we have both in our lives. Before we begin, please join me on Telegram, where you can find exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else. To join me, please go to your phones and download Telegram, and then go to t.me/docofdetox.com for all the information that I can't put on Facebook, Instagram, and all the other platforms that believe that they're just doing their job. And also for our weekly newsletter, go to Doc of Detox or itioh.com and enter your email to subscribe. This newsletter is not to sell you products, but to sell you on self-love, self-care, and true permanent healing. The Doc of Detox newsletter is the best way to keep up to date, to get important information that the mainstream does not want you to have. So let's begin the show. But before we start, this whole idea about crystal energy and frequencies, what is this stuff, voodoo? No, it's not, because guess what? You are a frequency. You are a light energy, electromagnetic being. And if you could understand that one step, that, you know what, when you feed the spirit, you heal the body, that frequencies and light is everything, everything. If you could understand that today, one of the greatest ways to heal the body through energy medicine is with crystal therapy. All right? Tesla used to use crystal. He used to use crystal energy. It wasn't even about the frequencies. It was about the frequencies that were going through the crystals that were creating this healing power. Look, at our clinic, we sell what's called vitamin D crystal light energy, which is a vitamin D light about 6 feet tall. It's got crystal plates in front of it. You don't see healing like that. People don't talk about this. Why do you think Tesla was crushed? Why did they crush him? Why did they get rid of his information? Why did what? The Rockefellers do that. It's all about crystals, my friend. And we're going to find out a lot more about that. Okay? I have technologies and energy medicine equipment in my clinic that deal with light energy, frequencies, and crystals, because there's the secret, eh? All right, so I want to bring on my really good friend, Peter Webb, and we're going to be talking about what? We're going to be talking about, I've got one on. See the comments that people have. Those of you that are watching, comment if you have one of these and you wear it, how it helps your skin, how it helps you sleep better, how it helps you feel better, how it helps you protect the actual energy grid around your body from 5G, EMF, and all these other things, smart meters and things of that nature. And we even have these for adults, and we have them for children. And understand something, yeah, I know it's a product, and I know I'm talking about a product, but the reality, what if the product is actually protecting you? And then we have them for the home. And then we actually have them for schools and churches and factories. And then we also have them for your garden, big gardens. Because today, if you don't become your own practitioner, today, if you don't become your own gardener, then you're just going from treatment to treatment. And when you understand that you need to train yourself to become the doctor, the practitioner, the genius that masters your mind to master your body, then you will have the perfect day. And even though we are being attacked on all levels by our government, by all these systems out there, because guess what? It's not about the love. It's about the money. It's about the bottom dollar. And you know what? We're getting milk for our money, and we're getting sold off by the pound. And we need to talk about how we can come together and support each other. And you know what? We got to get to a point someday that we say no more, that we ignore, and we don't buy these things. We don't buy into them. There's a lot more of us than them. We need to take our power back on a personal level and then shine that light on our families. So let's begin the show. Good day, Peter. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well. It's, we keep progressing. I mean, it's amazing how when you get a wider audience, the questions you get asked, and I get a lot of information from scientists in Ottawa that I'm on their list. I've known them for years, and especially on the effects of electromagnetic sensitivity. And this is the way I look at it right now. We're not going to be able to do anything with 5G, 4G, radio, satellite, cell phone, all the technologies that's surrounding us now. So it's up to us to actually create our own defense system, and that's what I'm working on. This is what I do. When a client comes to me and say, "We've got this problem," and believe it, this just today I've had three farms phone me about bacteria in their well water. Our planet is now becoming so it's being so abused with dumping chemicals and other things into the environment. And I think about these Earth has its own magnetic lines, and we're dumping all these batteries that we have in our homes and into the garbage, and then it goes into a landfill. Well, all those frequencies or the energies of those batteries are carried through this grid system to people's homes and crops and food. We got an email just recently from France where they've now found that these wavelengths coming off wind turbines are affecting people, and it's also affecting plants and animals as well, because everything that breathes and takes in moisture is taking in these toxic elements of the environment. And so they started checking people, just doing samples of the hair, and they were finding them 3 times higher in cadmium, which is a very dangerous product in your body. So so my focus, actually, I came up with, there are many rare earth minerals and heavy metals that come off. Well, it's not only wind turbines, it's in cell phones or TVs or laptops. All electronics have a certain degree of these rare earth minerals in them, which are not good for the health of people or plants. So I took a full 24 hours of taking every one. I copied them all off the computer, and I came up with the frequencies, and I was able to come up with a series of frequencies that actually neutralize them, because again, everything has a spin. So if you've got a heavy metal that's got a certain spin to it, and you tap into that frequency, you can shut it down. So this is one of the last things that I put in the last few days is, but we even just recently put some more protection around our bodies. Whether you've got the Bodyguard, the protector, or the all those, the pendant, the
crystal pendants,
crystals,
yeah,
all the crystals, yeah.
Yes.
It's like you put into a shell, and you have the good stuff inside, and then we put on another layer with a reflective coating to increase the protection for our bodies and our environment. So every time you put a protector or a defender in a home, you're actually protecting the whole environment of your home.
Peter, do you mind, because I know that we have a lot of new people, believe it or not, we've got like we have thousands of people that are joining our show new every week. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to show everyone, I'll say what they are, and then you can see. These are called Bodyguards, everyone. And then we have them this big, and we have them half the size for young children as well, okay? And some people are even buying them for their pets and putting them around the collar of their pets. But that's called a Bodyguard. And just so you people know, we have it, there we have it in turquoise, and we also have it in purple. This is for the home or for the apartment or something like that. And then this is actually for the garden. Yes, it is. And Peter, and then this is actually for factories, homes, schools, things of that nature. But Peter, will you tell everybody, like, let's say the Bodyguard, for the one you wear around your neck, can you tell everybody how it never wears out, how it gets updated if there's something new, like a new virus, a new bacteria, a new chemical, or if there's a new type of nutrition that we're carrying at the Doc of Detox, how you can actually put the frequency of that radionic in it, and how everyone who ever bought one, whether they bought it years ago or they buy it tomorrow, that they're always being updated and they don't run out like batteries. And how large of an area does a Bodyguard, now all of these, the Defender, the Protector, and the Bodyguard, they all have the same thing, that they don't run out, and you put new frequencies in. And maybe you can tell people just some of the different things a little bit generally, what go into them and how much protection and what they do, okay? Well, let's start off with the Bodyguard.
Well, the Bodyguard, it is designed to do a field around your body of about 15 feet on each side, above and below. And because as humans, or all life on the planet, should have a DC current. DC is the natural energy of what lightning causes in the soil. All life in the soil thrives on the DC current. So what we had to do, we had to ground the AC current out of your body. So in this technology, we put in a grounding system. We originally started with 2 trees, an oak tree and a horse chestnut tree as grounding. But then we realized that people on the on the 50th floor or 40th floor of a high-rise building, they weren't getting grounded. So we had to go to what we call a virtual grounding system, where we actually, it's a big tree, but it's in a virtual form, and it's in the atmosphere as well as into the deep in the ground. So that way we're able to ground everybody, every animal, every home from the effects of the alternating current that is not, because it's got a clockwise polarity to it, it interferes with the absorption of half the minerals and half the vitamins that we consume. So we also put in primal water frequencies. That's like what you get out of Lourdes. It's a healing water. Our body is a very high, probably 70% water or 75% water. So we put those frequencies in to keep the water in our bodies healthy. We're also putting in colors. We put the full color spectrum. We use the Dinshaw color charts, plus we're also using biophoton lights.
So it doesn't matter what color of Bodyguard that you have.
No.
You've got all the color spectrums in there.
Yeah.
Right.
The colors of the rainbow are in that, everything that we produce. So those are main, of course, we're constantly we put in telomeres, which is another frequency for the telomeres are the little ends on your cells, I understand, and as you age, they get smaller. And from when you're young, they're quite large, and now we're able to start restoring them and bringing them back to a more useful state. And of course, we put in frequencies of vitamins and minerals. So these are primarily to support what you're taking. They're not meant to totally replace your diet. So we have to realize we have to maintain a healthy diet. So all these things that I'm doing, like even remember December the 21st, we had that star, and I was actually able to capture that star energy and put that into these pendants. And I had a lot of people tell me they just were overwhelmed by that frequency. And since then, we've on December the 25th, I put in love and joy, and because every emotion again is a frequency, um, and sadness is a very low energy frequency. You don't want it in your, you can't stay hyped up all the time. Your body has to go through rest periods. So the full moon, and the stars and the sun, we put all those frequencies into the pendants, all part of nature. We're really supporting nature to maintain a healthy lifestyle and environment. I hope that, and as for how we upgrade everything, it's very simple. We have a very large copper plate with the elements that we charge them all on that copper plate, but we also attach everyone that goes out the door to that plate. So when we can, like it's a silver thread that goes to the bodyguard or the guardian, whatever you got, and and when we make a change, it immediately goes to everyone that's ever been produced
around the world.
Around the world, yeah.
And
Exactly.
how far of protection do you get with the bodyguard?
There's a 15-foot around each side of your body, above and below, and the idea behind this is your immune system extends outside of your body, and that's what we're taught. You can call it the aura. That's what most people recognize as. So the idea that a virus could come into that area between that 15 feet, it can be neutralized before it gets into your physical body. They're also putting oxygen, hydrogen, and helium into your body to increase the oxygen in your blood system, because with all this pollution, it doesn't matter whether it's mercury or aluminum or radio or TV or 5G or whatever is coming in. It's having an effect on lowering your blood oxygen at the cellular level. So our main focus is to keep the blood oxygen content in your body at somewhere between 96 and 100%. It fluctuates up and down a little bit. I've been taking measurements, and it's in nature. You can't keep one element at 100% all the time. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And of course, one of the things I put in just recently, and this is fascinating, I looked at protein, and I said, okay, I don't think people are getting enough protein at the cellular level. So I put in a protein frequency, and I had a magnolia tree in front of the house. Every fall, it used to have flower buds on it, an inch long, but this year it had none. But as soon as I put the protein into the environment, that tree within 24 hours has put huge buds on. So it stimulated the bud growth. Now, one farmer phoned me 2 days later. He said, Peter, he said, every cow, I've got 200 cows, every cow went up a liter of milk a day when I put that in, when you put that protein in. Another farmer from Wisconsin called me today and said his protein in his milk went up. So, we get lots of, we'll call it anecdotal, but it's real that these animals are responding to it, and I know people will too. I know it. Actually, my wife's daughter, she was phoning, she was painting, and her legs were in pain. And so whoops, I haven't worn my pendant for 4 days. She put the pendant on, and her legs, the pain all went out of her legs. I just got an email here from a therapist in Ottawa. She put the Defender in her office. My business is crazy busy since we bought she called it the egg. I can hardly keep up with all the client sessions. Would you please let me know? And then she goes on and on. So, and then another curious one, we had an Uber driver. He had the protector, and he put it in the coffee holder in his Uber car, and every client that went in doubled the tip. The energy was such they just doubled the tip. So energy can play a really integral role in
Peter,
our, yeah.
what do you think about this, buddy? I mean, I know that people are starting to embrace it, but you know what? You do know that, like, let me see here. When I was like around 8 years old, my father was a part-time pastor and he was a carpenter. There you go. And the deal is back then, if you started talking about things like this, man, you would have gotten voodoo trouble, you know. But today, what we understand is that it's actually science, and it's backed by science. It's a real thing. What people don't get is, if you don't mind, Peter, is that back in the 1885, everyone. That's when the government and the medical system came together, but it wasn't them. I'm not blaming doctors, but that's when the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers decided that they were going to destroy everything with energy medicine, and they were going to go really religious on the whole frequency thing, and this is like drawing in Satan and frequencies and energy. But meanwhile, they'll talk about the spirit, but then the reality is the spirit is an energy. It's light and energy. But then the reality is that, you know, everything you eat and everything you drink leaves the body. The only thing that stays in the body is the frequency. I don't care how expensive the supplement is. It's the frequency that's left in the body. The physical always leaves. Now today, I'll tell you something right now, Peter. Having you on my show when I was around 28 years old, and that would have been a little while ago, but to have you on my show then, we would have had tomatoes thrown at us, right? But the reality is people are starting to wake up and understand that the invisible is creating the physical, whether it's a good frequency or a bad frequency, or it's a good light or it's a bad light. Blue light, we know, it burns the brain and causes eye damage, right? So people are starting to wake up because why? It's not a good thing. They're waking up because they've seen all the negative frequencies. So if we can have negative frequencies that would destroy us, why couldn't we have frequencies that would restore us?
Well, this is true. I went 40 years ago when I started in the business of electromagnetic pollution on farms. A farmer says, well, he said, boy, you can put it in my barn, but you don't tell any of my neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't 2 weeks later, and his neighbors all started calling up wanting their barns done as well. So, you know, people are becoming more open. And as we see, I had an email sent to me today on a new device that you plug into your cell phone, and it replaces the stethoscope. But what it does, you can scan your entire body. You can actually see everything functioning. You're inside internally. It's like having a camera scanning the inside of your body, your knees and everything, so they can really see. You know, this is coming back to almost to what Star Trek did. When people watched Star Trek, and they went to a machine and they had their lunch put out by a machine, or tablets, but you know, I think Star Trek was a good program to start opening people's minds to the possibilities, and now we're here.
Well, Star Trek, I think Star Trek, they were only trying to tell us what they already invented, Peter. You know, that's like somebody said to me, Daryl, wake the hell up. Matrix is not a movie.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. Yeah. So anyway, where all my testing and response, everything I do, I check with plants and animals, and I take their vitality, because if you have no vitality, you're dead.
Oops.
So, oops, yeah. So you need vitality to survive and remain healthy. So if the vitality of a plant goes up and an animal goes up, I said, well, this is good. We can keep that, and we can check people at the same time. And, you know, but again, your computer chip is really, all it is a crystal, and it stores all the information. But I'll go one step further. Marcel Vogel said, you can take one drop of water and it'll hold more information than all the computers in California. So the water in our body is also incredible. But I was watching a program where this doctor was saying that the bacteria in our digestive system is our brain. He said they're the ones that store all the information. And again, I know that these EMFs are actually damaging or knocking out a lot of the bacteria in our bodies. So it became very apparent that we had to keep our memory sharp, improve the health of the bacteria in our body, in our digestive system, in our bloodstream, in our colon, everywhere.
Peter,
we're full of bacteria.
If I can say something, everyone, and you know what, Peter, you just backed me up right there. So thanks for that, buddy. So the reality is, you know, if you go to any of my shows, you're going to see where I say, guess what? The smartest part of the human body is the bacteria. And the reality is that we're trying, in the natural health field, we're trying to bring the bacteria up. And in the medical field, they're trying to go after the bacteria. The bacteria are not the problem. The environment, the frequencies are the problem. So, you know what? You've got 50 trillion cells, but you've got 500 trillion good bacteria or bad bacteria, depending on the environment in which they live in. When your bacteria go bad, the communication goes bad in the human body, and then everything goes sideways. What do you think, Peter?
That is correct. Yeah. The bacteria in the environment, the soil, these bacteria are around the roots of plants, and they support if that plant needs a mineral, they can break it down. See, the plant supports the soil, or the soil, and then the bacteria support the plant. And in nature, we're doing the same thing. So,
Peter, can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing? Do you know how you just said the bacteria are around the root and they protect the root?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Everybody go to my show, How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two, and you'll see in there that I say this, that the large intestine is the root, okay? It is the holy grail of everything. And what happens is today, everybody is suffering from root rot because the bacteria have become bad bacteria. They become toxic, endobacterium. And when you get root rot, you finally become rotten to the core. And we call our core the abdomen. And the core stores 85% of your energy level. But if your core's rotten, you don't have energy. What do you think, Peter?
That's true. And I'll give you another example. We have been doing sewage treatment lagoons with the Guardian and the Defender. And we put oxygen in the water. And this is where oxygen becomes incredibly important. Oxygen creates aerobic bacteria. And aerobic bacteria digests everything that you're eating.
Aerobic, aerobic, everyone, means that bacteria that live off oxygen. And then you've got anaerobic bacteria, which is a mutation of your good bacteria, which means there's not enough oxygen there, so they live off things that are toxic. So you have become too toxic. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, the anaerobes are fermenters. They basically ferment, but the aerobic ones are the healers, and they repair the damage. But these ponds, they were full of waste sludge from the sewage, and now with the oxygen and the bacteria, there's virtually nothing. I mean, it's cleaned, and when in doing that, it's taking out all of the chemicals and pharmaceuticals and stuff that's in the raw sewage. So our body is the same way. If we get the wrong kind of bacteria in our digestive system, and it's anaerobic, it's fermenting, and that's what caused so many health problems with us. So I'm a little bit anal on that one. Every day I take 2 tablespoons.
Peter, was that supposed to be a joke? I'm a little bit anal.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so Put 2 tablespoons of flaxseed or meal and a tablespoon of psyllium fiber in my digestive system, and it really what it's doing is putting fiber in, and it's actually helping to cleanse your colon on a daily basis, and it's amazing how that stuff works. So what we put in our body is important,
And what comes out of our body is important.
Well, yeah. So to be able to evacuate all this stuff on a daily basis is really important. Look at John Wayne; he had about 17 pounds of it when he died in his colon.
Elvis had 40. Elvis had 40 pounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we want to keep that colon operating the way every day it gets evacuated out, and that's how it affects everything, even your thinking. Your body is more alive, and this is what we're trying to do: is teach people. We only get given one of these in a lifetime, the body, so we have to maintain it like you maintain your car. You change the oil every 5,000 kilometers. You look after the engine, and it keeps on going. So our body is needing the same kind of care. But anyway, so those kind of things, what we're using is frequencies, and actually I was able to come up with frequencies for all bacteria. I know it's a big challenge, but we have to support the beneficial ones in our body. One of the other things I just put in recently is some chromium, which is really important in building muscle. It helps to build muscle. So every time I find a new technology or product or that I can incorporate into what we're doing, like we've got all kinds of black oil and pumpkin seed oil and milk thistle oil and many different kinds of oils, including we don't use oil of oregano, but I was trying to think the stuff you gave me, the oil from biblical times. Anyway, we've got it.
I'd like to send you my other product that I have. It's called Amazing Magenta, and it's a C60 oil made out of coconut oil. So I'll get a sample of that sent off today to you, okay?
Yeah.
And everybody, just so you know, we just had Magda Havas on just a few days ago, and we did a Q&A. And you might want to check that out because Magda Havas is one of the top doctors, Dr. Magda Havas. She's one of the top doctors in EMF and she was talking about PEMF and about positive frequencies and negative frequencies the other day, Peter. So everybody, just so you know, because I've had Peter on and I've had her on, and we're going to be putting on, as of today, okay, for 1 week, we're going to be putting on, if you want to take a look, in my website, we'll be putting on the Defender and the Protector and the Bodyguard, okay? And they'll all be going on sale if you've always wanted one or if you'd like to give one as a gift to protect your children, protect your pets, protect your garden, protect your home, protect yourself. Peter, go ahead.
Actually, I have clients that bought the Defender Guardian, and they actually put them in their bathtub. They said it's the most amazing sensation of having all that oxygen in the water in the bathtub when you're soaking in the bathtub.
Whoa, good idea. Never thought about that.
Yeah. And of course, and just an offshoot, there was a farmer that had these laying birds that were running around, and they were laying eggs with white shells on them. But when she put the Guardian on the farm, it put all of the minerals and the elements into them birds, and the birds started laying eggs with green shells on it, which was the natural color of that breed of bird. So, it just actually, going back to the other thing we are is sequestering all these carbons from the atmosphere, the greenhouse gases, and they are drawn into the human body. I know we've talked about this before, but we absorb about 1 ounce a day of carbon, and again, it's the form that is one step after CO2 and another one before it turns into sugar. So those two types of carbon, probably equal to C60, they go in, they help to build your muscles, your bones. Believe it or not, the bacteria in your digestive system need carbon to produce enzymes and amino acids. Our body is very complex, but it's a thing of beauty, the way we were created to have all this life in our body that's supporting us, and it applies to everything on the planet, from plants to animals to people. I look at them all the same way, and they all need the same kind of, I went to a dairy farm, and he used to go in the barn every morning, imagining saying he's going to have the highest producing herd in that county, and he just every morning he told those cows he loved them, and he gave them all kinds of encouragement, and he was always the top herd. And it just goes to show that how even animals respond to being kind and gentle, and people we all like a little bit of love and encouragement in our lives too.
Oh, wait a minute, Peter. I don't like a little bit. I like a lot. Okay. None of this little bit stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, but again, happiness can really help to heal the body, help heal your spirit. It's something that, we just take ourselves too short. Like, I was born with congenital cataracts, and the doctor said, well, we'll have to take you in the hospital, and if you pull a chunk out, we'll have to do surgery on it. And I said, well, so every morning I used to get up with a glass of water, and I pray that visualize those cataracts from separating. And believe it or not, when I went into the hospital, they just separated and came out. So, that kind of thing, I've been living with a lot. You can do these things, and
faith.
Yeah. So, but anyway, right now we're looking at a lot of, especially now with these lockdowns, there's never been more people talking about growing their own garden, and actually everyone should have a way of, if it's on a balcony, or you could have a little tray and grow your own greens. But with this, the energy that we're putting into the home, plants and animals respond to it. It's just amazing how energy can make those plants. We have some people now with marijuana talking about 3 to 4 times more product coming off the plant than they used to have. So, so again, we've been working a lot with that market, and the fact that parasites, in insects, invasive insects, and I'm putting it back to people in a minute, but if you, insects are here to clean up the sick plants, and what we've been led to believe now, we kill all the insects, but they're only trying to be a cleanup crew. Putting in things like, we put in plasma, which is, again, DC is caused by DC current, and that has a very positive effect on plants and ourselves, because we are electrical, and I mean we want to keep that body electric up. So I hope this covers a lot of the areas where but certainly to experience these products, again, it makes you feel a whole lot better, and it just protects you. It protects you from a lot of the viruses that are drifting around us now. So particularly when everything, even with new electric cars coming out, they're running on lithium batteries, and again, they're giving off emissions of heavy metals, they're not as something that you can reach out and touch. They're
Yeah.
in a frequency form. They literally pass through your skin into your body.
Well, people don't get it. They don't realize it. I mean, oh man, look at, I just bought a Tesla car, and they don't realize the Tesla car is going to make them sick. So the reality is everybody, you need to wake up because, you know, what about this one? You know, I was talking to a lady, and she actually has a lump on her breast, and it's right underneath, it's on her left breast, and it's under her nipple. And I told her that I would actually I'm going to do a doc demo without her on it, but I'm going to talk about what I would do if I had it. And it's the size of a quarter, Peter. And I said to her, are you wearing a bra with a wire in it? And she says, yes, I do. I always do. And she doesn't realize that she's getting probably 1 million phone calls a day into her breast. Because, you know, there's no antenna in the world that isn't picking up frequencies. And if you could actually see all the frequencies of phone calls happening, and from smart meters and from all your smart appliances, you know what? You would be hiding you would want to go and move to the country. You'd want to go move into a bush, because that's what it does, is nature is a healer. So people don't realize what actually frequencies do. And you know how you were talking about how the Bodyguard helps to restructure the fluid in the body, the water in the body, whether it's in the cells, extracellular, intercellular fluid, and that we are 70 to 80% water. I mean, the brain is 90% water. The blood is almost 100. So the reality is, I'd like you to tell people, and this is where you're going to have to wrap your head around this one, people. So Peter will actually get called that there's a lake. It's so polluted, the fish are gone. They're died. And it's just full of the wrong algae, okay? And it's like a swamp. And then he's in Canada, and he'll start working on a lake that's dead in India. And guess what? You got to understand, people are actually paying Peter for this. So understand, everyone, wrap your head around that one. He doesn't go to India. He doesn't send anything there, except he works with radionics, which is a science. Peter, can you kind of explain that to people so they can kind of get a gist of this is not voodoo. This is actually just, it's the same thing that Bill Gates is doing. It's the same thing that these other people are doing to you, except Peter's trying to turn it around. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, we have, what happens is there are so many chemicals on the farms these days, fertilizers and pesticides. They get into the lakes. We'll take Lake Madison. It's a huge lake in South Dakota. And it was green and stinky. And we put 2 of our revitalizers on that. And
that's right behind you, right, everybody? If you take a look at Peter, just to the right of him, you see a black box. It's just half. You can see it. That's a revitalizer. And that, Peter, goes just in the ground, right?
In the ground, yeah. So we put 2 of them on that lake because it's a very big lake. And the first year we got it cleaned up. And the following year, the people fishing all year long. They'd only fish in it maybe a couple of weeks a year.
Why?
And this is a while back. Now, one of the people that paid for these revitalizers, he said he can go on his dock now and catch 17 pickerel in a half hour. That's how many fish are in it. And people have said the freezers are full of fish from that lake. So that was going like that really well until the particular area went on 5G, and then that started interfering with the oxygen. And so we went to a different form of oxygen in a gas state, and now the lake is crystal clear again. And that's what's happening with all the lagoons that we're treating in the sewage lagoons. We're making them clean, and we're not recommending anybody go canoeing on them, but the smell is gone, the chemicals are gone. So yeah, we did India. It was a 4,000 acre lake. There was 55 million liters of raw sewage a day coming in there, and we were able to keep it almost to drinking standard all year round. So And we've been doing even in Chile and different other countries. We've got revitalizers in Poland. So, yeah, it's, again, it's just putting the oxygen in and letting the bacteria do their job. And that's no different to cleaning that lake
Isn't it?
and our physical body.
But isn't it crazy? I know I'm going off track a little bit, but I'm listening to you talk, and it's like the bad guys and the good guys, and they destroyed it again. Now we got to go in and fix it again. I mean, like okay, listen, human beings, they can have bad beliefs. I get that, but human beings usually don't go out trying to attack each other and try to kill off the race. So I think the only way that the planet's ever going to change is if people wake up, and they demand a better life. What do you think, Peter?
That is true. We've got to take a hard look at everything we're doing these days. Is everything from the food we produce to the food we consume. It's sad to see corporations now growing bacteria to put back in the soil. I mean, they should never have been wiped out in the first place. But that's where we are. So,
yeah, but what kind of bacteria are they putting in? Mutant bacteria? Seriously. Never trust a corporation, because the short on that is CORP, means corp, means dead. Okay?
Yeah. Well, these are supposed to be nitrogen-fixing bacteria, but again, if they disappeared in the first place, unless they change their practices, they're going to disappear again. So I think this is where, we have to look at everything in the food production and even our homes. We need to, we progressively buying more and more, microwaving more food. And again, microwaving is making that food nutritionally void. There's nothing in it because microwaves blow up the little cells in the food. So yeah, this whole purpose where I'm at right now is we have to start looking out for ourselves and our families. Government, I don't think, is interested in doing it.
You don't think? You don't think? Okay, all right.
I'm being generous.
I know you are. Okay.
But no, it's, like I said, if people started producing a little bit of food, and it's, it could be lettuces or radishes or something within a small area, and let the children see where food comes from. Children today think all the food comes from the big stores. They don't realize it's growing on farms, and I think it'd be a real benefit to a lot of people if they could start growing a few things. They don't have to be big time gardeners, just to have a plot, and just a lot of people today are taking wooden boxes and putting topsoil in it, so they not bothered with weeding and everything, because they can just walk around. If there's weeds come up, then but again, weeds are a symptom of minerals in the soil. So every weed represents a mineral that's missing in the soil. Like dandelions are pulling up calcium, horsetail is pulling up silica, and all these weeds are trying to balance things in nature, and we've lost the connection between plants and animals and our health. And this is where I'm maybe rambling off what you wanted to get, but
no, you're right on target. I love this stuff. You know that?
Okay.
Yeah,
I know. So again, we by putting the love into the program for poultry, we find the poultry there, the mortality is less, and they lay more eggs.
When whoa. When you put love into
frequencies into poultry barns,
yeah,
they respond in a way that they're more calm. They don't get tense, and they just produce more eggs. And actually, when we put the guardian in a poultry barn, or we'd stay a poultry barn, the manure coming out of the bird is odorless. It has an earthy smell, so there's no ammonia and methane and CO2 in those barns, and the same thing when it goes out, there's no smell, and it's full of bacteria that these farmers, it breaks down into compost in their buildings through the wintertime. And these birds, normally they used to come out with hardly any feathers on them. Now they got fully feathered. I mean, the birds are so healthy, they just lay more and more eggs, and the mortality is way down.
And they have a really good, they have a good pecking time, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you don't ruffle their feathers to keep them in good humor. Anyway, but yeah, we've seen so many things. Since we've gotten into the revitalize them more, farmers are just getting bigger crops, and the animals are really healthier. And this is where, you get healthier. That's like the farmer when we put in the protein, and now the protein's in the milk. And we definitely are needing protein. So
yeah. Hey, Peter, how about this one? I bet you never thought that when we started working with your crystal energy products,
yeah.
I bet you never thought it was going to blow up like this, did you, my friend?
No, it was kind of surprising, actually. But now it's becoming, we have a lot of local people that come walking in, and they tell us their stories. And like there was one that was I was going to tell you, but it slipped my mind at the moment. Anyway, so no, everything is very positive, and we've created, between you and myself, the people that make this glass, and they're really doing a nice job, and their heart's right in it now. So we got much. The products are better, and
well, look at all the people that, I mean, we get testimonials every day. I mean, you know what? I did I just did a Q&A, and on the Q&A we had like 3 people just on the Q&A commenting underneath on the Q&A on Facebook, commenting on how their Bodyguard, and then one was commenting about how their Guardian just totally took their garden and made it into what they said is that they're doing only probably 10% of the weeding. Now, why is that?
Yeah. Again, it's the minerals are normalizing, and there's no need for the weeds.
Right. Okay.
Weeds will only come when there is a mineral that's deficient. So
right.
By being able to put all these frequencies in the soil, and this is, what the farmers are telling us now is that their yields are up because they don't have to fight the weeds, and it's quite common. All these people that are growing green peas will get a ton an acre more, or like I said, with the cucumber farmer, in 4 years he went from 15 ton an acre and 40 pesticides to this year he got 36 ton an acre and no pesticides.
Yeah, and everybody out there that does farming, whether you're into a grow-op and doing like growing marijuana, or you've got a farm with animals, or you're growing crops, if you give me a call and you're interested in the revitalizer, I'll put Peter on, and you're going to be very, very surprised, eh, Peter?
Yeah, and that was the other thing we've noticed. These grow-ups, that they used to take a seed up to 10 days to come up, but now with the Guardian in the Guardian in the grow-up, 2 days the seed is up, and it's going.
And this is a Guardian, everyone. Okay, it's a beautiful crystal. I mean, it's gorgeous to look at. People will come in the office, and if they've never seen them before, they ask us if they can buy one, and or where did you buy it? Because it looks so beautiful. And then I tell them that it actually has a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Peter.
Yeah. Okay. I think that we've covered much of everything we needed to do.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It just my concern is all of the electropollution that's surrounding us today. We've got to start taking charge of our own lives and protecting ourselves and our families and our pets. And this way, everything goes a lot smoother. It just improves the whole household.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So everybody, just so you know, I will be having, as you can tell, for those of you who know Peter and that he's been on my show a few times, we like to have Peter about every 8 weeks because he's quite the storyteller. Every time you come and watch the show, you'll find you're going to learn more about different things about the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees, the garden, and everything else. Right, Peter?
That's right. Yep. It's everything in our environment. And I know it's hard to be in an apartment, but I'm sure a lot of people have a bird in a cage or a cat or a dog or a few plants in their apartments, and those really thrive on this energy, and it makes that a more attractive place to be. It makes it really attractive.
It's all about the love, Peter. It's all about the love. Everything is a frequency. Everything is a frequency.
That's correct. Yep. So I think I've exhausted my repertoire for the time being.
Well, we'll see you again in about 8 weeks, my friend. So do me a favor, will you? Will you collect the stories, write them down? Just collect the different stories of people, animals, gardening, and anything that you hear from, and then we'll keep sharing it with all our beautiful viewers out there. I
just wanted to make this one thing. This one farmer had a polluted well, and we sent him one of the defenders down, and he put it in 4 days it passed. And we've had a lot of these. Now, 3 of his neighbors today want the same thing. So, they've all got probably coliforms in their wells, and you put one of these in your home, and it cleans your well, and it maintains your septic tank, so you never have to pump it. It keeps that thing working. If you notice on a stack coming up the roof of your house in the summer when you're sitting on the deck, you get this whiff of odor coming from the stack. It doesn't happen when you have high oxygen in your environment. There is no smell coming off that stack. So there is another story for you, Gerald.
So there you go. It's the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Peter. All my love to you.
Yeah, you too. Yep.
Love you, buddy. You have
Bye-bye.
A beautiful day, okay? And I hope your wife goes along good with the painting. She's painting, right? She's painting the house?
Yeah, that's why I don't sit still too long, or I might get painted too.
All right, then I guess it's bun on the run for you, and God bless, my friend.
Oh, you too. Yeah. Bye now.
Bye now.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining me, and what a beautiful soul, eh? This is what it's all about. What a beautiful soul. Okay, so that's who's making your crystals to protect you. And, just because it's something new doesn't make it a lie. And just because it's something old, it could be. So the reality is do your homework, okay? But keep an open mind, okay? Because you know what? The world is an amazing place with an open mind. I want to thank everybody, and just remember something. You are an energy system, okay? And what I said before is everything we eat and drink leaves the body except for the frequency. And everything you think, if it's a higher vibration, it's going to bring you up. And like Peter said, joy, happiness, it's the healer. It's the frequency. So everybody, I want to thank you for joining me, and let me just go over some of the shows that are coming up. January the 27th, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? All right, it is the kickoff for the advanced water fasting. And if you haven't seen the preparation water fasting show, please go to my library and go inside and click on the 6-day advanced water fasting guide and take a look at that show. because guess what? Fasting, okay, water fasting, advanced water fasting, unleashes the power of autophagy and stem cell therapy and healing, okay? And then on Thursday, January the 28th, the Advanced Water Fasting Challenge begins, okay, live every day at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? And just know this, we're still traveling the world doing personal treatment and trainings. They haven't shut us down yet. So if you want to have a personal treatment and training, we'll come to your home, we'll come to your clinic, and we'll certify you in Wolfe Non-Surgical. And if you want to learn how to heal your family, we'll come to your home and we'll teach you the most powerful body work and how to master your mind so that you can master your health. All right? And just know this, we have consultations. Our consultations are only $100 until the 28th. All right? So if you would like to get on and get a consultation, a perfect day consultation, lifetime support, it's $100. Go to Doc of Detox, click on consultations, and we will get a master consultant where I will go over your case history. We'll send you an hour audio, and we're with you, and we will teach you how to create the perfect day that you can repeat every day on an emotional, physical, and nutritional level. All right? And everybody, I will be doing my 21-day training in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, on Monday, April the 26th. And guess what? I'm actually flying down. I'm flying down in just a couple of days to go get it all set up for April. We are going to be in the most beautiful place, okay? It has 10 cenotes on it. It's 100 acres. It's in the jungle. We're in a 6,000 square foot beautiful building that is built to teach the most zen, powerful body work and to teach you how to become a whole life coach. And 8 days for whole life coach certification, 11 days for the Wolfe Non-Surgical, and the adventure of a lifetime. We'll have more information on itiroh.com for you, and I'll be doing FaceTime when I'm down in Mexico, sending you videos of what we're gonna do. We'll have bonfires at night. We'll have a get together and a dance. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Hope that you can make it. If you want to get trained and you want the adventure of a lifetime and you've been thinking on it and been on the fence, please come down. Okay? It's filling up fast, and it truly is. All right? And Saturday, June the 5th to the 25th, I'll be doing the same thing in Kelowna, British Columbia. That course is half full already. I know June's a long way away, but we don't take a lot of people here. We don't have the room for it. We only take 12. All right? And don't forget, everyone, every Tuesday I do my live Q&A, and all our shows are time stamped. So if you want to go onto YouTube the next day, you will be able to go right to the question or the topic that Peter was talking about. And those of you who would like to listen to any of our audios, any of our trainings, you can download them at iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud. Okay? And don't forget, go to Telegram for the information I can't talk about here. You'll find it on your phone. Download the app. Okay? And then go to Doc of Detox on Telegram. I want to thank everybody for joining me. And I hope that this show has made your life a little bit or even a lot better. Okay? And don't forget, the power to heal has always been yours. So, 3, 2, 1, I know you got this, Braveheart. Have a beautiful day. God bless. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.